It's time to rendezvous with cassidoo. Boo! Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. I am recording this so late in the week. It has been a very busy week. In case you've missed some of the GitHub news, we had some outages. It was intense and a whole lot of work to deal with internally. But hey, we are here and it's good. Hello. In case you are new here, my name is Cassidy. I have a weekly newsletter, and this is that newsletter in video form. We talk about interesting web things of the week, stuff I'm up to, stuff you're up to, a joke, practice coding, and more. All that being said, let's get into it. Okay, so for the quote of the week, the most certain sign of wisdom is cheerfulness by Michel de Montaigne. I think that's how you say it. But anyway, I really agree with this quote because I think that when you see people who are cheerful even when things are rough, they kind of have more important things on their mind than the current turmoils and stuff. Now, that being said, there's always exceptions. Sometimes you're just sad. But I do think that remaining cheerful and optimistic over time is a thing that kind of keeps you going, and there's a wisdom in that. Anyway, I hope you had a good week. Once again, I've had a busy one, and last week was even busier. I was at Render ATL, and that was a lot of work. Very cool conference, but whew, I was exhausted at the end of it. But it was very, very fun, and I am just playing catch up all week, last week, this week, and plenty more of catch up to do. Now, for the web links of the week, there's some fun ones in here. Now, first of all, keeping type consistent about changing conditions. This one is less like web oriented and more about fonts in general, because fonts can change depending on if it's on print or digitally or on some kind of digital document or just a website itself, how weight works and everything. And I just thought it was an interesting look at how you can maintain things consistent throughout font changes and condition changes. Now, for making referential stability a type, this is a lot of words, a lot of big, meaty words, referential stability, but I think that it's a good article talking about like playing with the guarantees that you get in a framework like a React or a Preact, and being able to use like state variables and be able to properly use memo and use effect hooks and stuff. And I thought that it was a very nice way of describing how you can kind of maintain your guarantees in weird conditions, kind of like the type one. There's a thread here. The next article is about text stroke in CSS and how it's changed now, it's better now, and text stroking is like the line around a text, and it used to only be on the inside of fonts, and it was a little strange on websites, but anyway, now it is better, and this looks at that. This next article is much more of like an opinion thing, but I thought it was interesting. AI is removing the middle class of software engineering, and it's kind of talking about how AI is really accelerating people who know what they're doing, and people who are kind of still figuring themselves out. It emphasizes bad practices and good practices. And so you kind of have to be awesome or you will end up just drilling into really bad practices, if that makes sense. And I thought it was an interesting look at that. I don't know if I fully agree with all of it, but it was a good, well-written piece. And then finally, this last video, A Pragmatic Guide to Browser Support, is from Rachel Andrew, who works on browser support things on the Chrome team. And I thought it was very good to just learn what is new, changing, what is supported in browsers now in 2026. And for something that interested me this week, I was emceeing Render ATL last past week, and it was so busy. It was very fun, but once again, I was working. It was very, very busy. I was emceeing the main stage. We had an awards ceremony called the Commits that I was hosting as well, and it was really cool to see just a celebration of open source, really good networking, really good job hunting for a lot of people, and just getting to know that community. It was awesome. I enjoyed it. I got to see a lot of old friends and meet some new ones too, and I've been going to bed at like 9 p.m. every night because I've been exhausted ever since, but it was really, really fun. And also, in totally unrelated news, I cut a release for my to-do app, To-Do Meter, and so check it out if you want something that's just a simple desktop app. But there's some fun little features in there if you want to check it out. And now for our sponsor, there isn't one. Ha ha ha! Be free from capitalism, but if your org would like to sponsor my newsletter, drop me a line. Happy to chat. Now, for the interview question of the week, last week I had you trim strings, and you could trim either the front, the back, or extra spaces, and y'all did a really great job with that one. This week, given the dimensions of a large rectangle, N by M, and a second smaller rectangle, A by B, Return the maximum number of second rectangles that can be packed into the larger one without overlapping, and you can rotate those rectangles there. I have some examples here. If you would like to respond to this question, you can either drop it here in the YouTube comments, you can respond to the email, or you can drop your solution on social media, and as long as I get it, I will credit you in the next one. And for some cool things around the internet, most of these were just really good blog posts that I really enjoyed reading. So the first one is 7 books I keep close because I love them. It's just this person geeking out about books, and I love it. One of them's a thesaurus. I love it. It was a fun article. The next link is a keyboard that I was geeking out about. It's really pretty. It's not my typical style. It has very pink keycaps and like very red and pink to the point where it would almost distract me, but at the same time it looks so cute. I'm a big fan. The next article is I have acquired my dream 3DS, and it's yet another blog post of someone talking about something that they love. But what I liked about it is they talked about the history of why it's their dream 3DS and then the process of how they got the device, and it's very fun, and their plans with hacking it and playing around with it. And then finally, the last article is what should you blog about? And it's just a bunch of ideas of what you should blog about, because more people should blog, myself included. I've been not on a blogging kick lately. I should fix that. But I liked some of the ideas in there, and it encouraged me to write down something. I should do that, maybe after recording this. And finally, for the joke, how do you console a depressed English teacher? There. Get it? Anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful week. That's all for now. Be safe, make good choices, and have a solo dance party. It's really good for your brain to just dance it out sometimes. I don't know what song you want to do. My recommendation, if you need one, Robin's Dancing on My Own. It's relevant to the prompt and a very good bop. See you next week. Bye!